You're listening to the Epic Stories podcast, presented by Earlham College. Here's your hosts, Tanaka and Carlton.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Epic Stories podcast. My name is Tanaka.
My name is Carlton.
And our guest for today is
Tinaye.
So on this podcast, we basically explore the journeys of college students who are taking charge of their education and careers through the Epic Journey. And the Epic Journey is just a 4-year program here at Earlham that combines academic learning with experiential learning as well as professional development that features stuff like personal advising, funded experiences through the Epic Advantage, which is like the pinnacle of the Epic Journey, and then they're able to use that to get experiences for their professional development. So join us as we hear from Tinaye and on how she's making the most of her epic journey and discovering her path to success.
Thank you very much, Carlton. Alright, so how are you doing today, Tinaye?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm alright. So my first question is, what made you to decide to come to Earlham, and what was life before you came to Earlham?
Okay, so I came to Earlham in 2024, September, and I came because my dad got a job here, so I just followed him. Prior to Earlham, I was in medical school in China for 2 years, and I enjoyed it, but at some point, I just knew that I don't want to be in medical school in China. I knew that I wanted to practice either in the UK or in the United States, so coming to the United States was like a big move for me, and it aligned with what I wanted to do.
That's interesting. So did you have a say, or just a situation where it was like, okay, I'm going to the US and you also had to follow along?
Yeah, I didn't have a say in that. I just found myself at Earlham, and yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a bit about your major and what year you're in.
So my major is neuroscience, and I'm a senior right now. Yeah.
Oh, so
Exciting.
so you came here as a transfer student, and then you're already in your junior year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I came in as a transfer student, as a junior, like you said, and Earlham is very generous in the amount of credits that you can transfer. I think the maximum credits you can transfer is 60, and I had 85, so I basically transferred in with 60 credits. That put me into junior year.
Okay.
So if you're able to transfer all 85, where would you have been?
Probably junior year, second semester, or senior year, first semester, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I think 1 year of college wasn't really going to be impactful, so I'm grateful that I had to come into my junior year.
Yeah. Alright, so far so good for the past maybe 1 year and now about 8 months that you've come to Earlham. What stands out the most for you? Or
1 year and 8 months, or just 1 year?
Or now, yeah, that actually this is now a year now. Yeah, thanks for the correction, yeah.
Yeah. Earlham has been a really good place for me in terms of finding opportunities and I guess launching me into my next phase of life. There's a couple of things that have stood out for me. I think the most impactful has been the CGH, Center for Global Health, with Nico. When I came to Earlham, I knew that I wanted to do something in health, pre-med maybe, and Nico has been so helpful in helping me tailor that pathway, finding internships, finding some alumni networks outside of Earlham, as well as looking at grad school now, which is currently what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely the CGH, and of course Epic Advantage, which was a very big and impactful tool for me over the summer during my internship.
Now that you've mentioned Epic Advantage, maybe can you tell us a bit more how you used your Epic Advantage? How was the process like?
Okay. Yeah. So I got an internship to work at a research lab in Kansas City, and I knew that the costs were going to be very high. Of course, I need to find an apartment. I need to find some mode of transportation from the apartment to the hospital. And so I just told Nico, like, I got this cool, like, internship. It is paid, but I don't think the salary is enough to cover my costs. And he walked me through applying for the Epic Advantage. It's a very simple process. You just have to write down all your costs, make sure that it makes sense. And then after that, they look at your application, and depending on what you've written down, they probably give you the amount that is sufficient for you.
Oh, that's really nice. So it meant that you spent your entire summer in Kansas?
Yeah, I did.
So, what actually did you do at the research lab?
It was like a very fun experience working in that research lab. I was on the research team. I thought I was coming in as an intern, but I was more like really hands-on with the work. We were looking at eating disorders in adolescents. So there's this drug called naltrexone, which is currently used for people with alcohol disorders. And so what it does, it lowers your urges to drink alcohol. So the main investigator of the research project thought, why don't we try this in people with eating disorders to see if it would have the same effect? And so we were testing that drug on adolescents between 13 to 18 years old.
Right. So does it mean it's by giving this drug, which is like what, a form of, is it like alcohol? You're giving this to kids, or how would that work?
No, the drug itself is not alcohol. It lowers like alcohol disorder urges, so you like desire to drink alcohol.
So how does it do that? And if if it does that, how can you, are you making some adjustments to, I don't know how it's administered, or to then transfer it to work for eating disorders, or does it just lower like urges in general?
That's a good question. So the drug actually works in the brain. In the brain, we have something called the reward pathway. So when you like watch your favorite movie, or when you go on a run, when you do something that you love, the reward pathway is activated. So people with eating disorders, they have two like main behaviors. They either binge, which is taking in a lot of food, or they purge, which is vomiting. And when they do that, they feel really good about it. So the drug works in the brain to lower those feel-good hormones. So after they binge or vomit, they feel disgusted, or like, oh my God, why did I do that? I shouldn't have ate all that food. Or why did I vomit? I shouldn't have done that. So it really just lowers your feel-good hormones. Same with people with alcohol disorders. When they drink a lot of alcohol, they feel good, but when they take the drug, it makes you feel bad for doing that.
So it's not specific to just alcohol, but it's just about how it works.
It's just about the brain. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. So throughout this internship, do you feel like you have skill that you gained that you might use in your future career?
Definitely. I think the most prominent skill that I learned is abstract writing. So I was fortunate enough to go in while they were writing a research paper, and I was able to work on editing the manuscript, writing, and I have my name on the paper now, so that's exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the skills. I guess the second skill is like working with a large team. Like I thought research is like very independent, but you have the biostatistician, you have the lab manager, you have the lab coordinator. And so like learning how to work with a group of people is something that I really had to like learn at the internship. And of course, working with kids. Like when I found out that the internship is at a children's hospital, I was kind of like throwing my hands because I thought I was going to step on the kids. But yeah, it was fun.
That's really interesting.
Cool.
So I'm just still trying to understand. So when you were in China, you were in medical school, and then when you came here, you became a neuroscience major. And for your internship, it was more like a research internship. So does it mean now you changed your focus more into research rather than like medical school? Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely not research. It was fun, but I think it's a lot of reading. During the internship, I read over 35 research papers, because when you're doing research, you have to make sure no one else has said the same thing before you. So I had like a pile of papers on my desk, and I love reading, but not reading science, so definitely not research. Your question was if it's either medical school next.
Yeah.
Probably, but for now, I think what's more feasible is to go into a master's program maybe that focuses on disease, because now my interests are more in maternal health in sub-Saharan African women.
That's really interesting.
How did your interest change to go in that direction?
Yeah, I think like the interest in maternal health have always been there, but finding a way to implement that has always been like difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of new cases of Zimbabwean women especially dying after giving birth, and of course being Zimbabwean myself, that like really breaks my heart. And so I thought about this idea of, you know, maybe researching more, collaborating with other local doctors, and potentially in the future studying more and going to implement some real work in Zimbabwe.
Oh, that's really inspirational, because also I'm from Zimbabwe and I have read a lot of articles about how people, like how we have a lot of like childbirth or like how people die yet when they're giving birth. So
Yeah.
I think that's a very impactful project.
Well, I'm not from Zimbabwe, but I think I'm from Uganda, and I think we have some similarities in that so many people giving birth, especially teenagers, the birth rate for teenagers is so high. And a lot of the time people actually are dying during childbirth. So that would be something that would have a positive effect on probably the entire continent or most of it. So that's really cool.
So I was also going to ask something. So when you came back from your internship, did you have a chance to present it during the Epic Expo?
I did, and that was so scary. Like, I guess the process is super fun. I think like it's so exciting, like preparing your poster. I think Nico had been really helpful with a lot of us in the pre-health club. We could send him our posters beforehand. He would check them for us. And getting that poster and seeing your work, like I actually hang it in my room because I'm like, this is 3 months of work, so it's worth something. And presenting there, I think like that was super fun. Interacting with a lot of the professors. It felt like impactful. It felt really meaningful. I'm so grateful for the Epic Expo like opportunity, because that has prepared me for another conference that I'm going to. So yeah, that was super fun.
I'm hearing a lot of Nico. It would be nice if there was some Nicos in some of the other majors as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Nico is like, I don't know, we need to have like a section just called Why Nico is the Best, like at Earlham. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you mentioned about a conference. So are you going to be presenting the same research or?
Yeah, so I submitted the abstract that I wrote over the summer to a conference called Annual Biomedical Research Conference for Minority Students, and it was really hard to come up with the abstract and submit it, but I did, and I heard back in September. They told me that my abstract had been selected to be presented at the conference, so I'm going there on Thursday. It's in San Antonio, Texas, and I checked the stats this morning. It's like 6,822 people that attend this conference. So
that's
yeah,
pretty
I'm excited.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Maybe we're supposed also to be part of the Epic Center for Global Health.
Yeah.
And we'll be getting these opportunities. And then I was also going to ask, since you mentioned you're a senior, were you involved with the Epic, is it called the Epic Senior Launch? Yeah?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, the Epic Senior launch was last semester, I think, and we went to Dayton. It was really fun. We had different panels that talked about different things. I think we had graduate school admissions, how to work on your CV, what comes after grad school, and things like that. And I think it was like it's called senior launch. It felt really like being launched into senior year. Yeah, that was really exciting.
So I'm interested to know more about your abstract that you
Okay.
wrote.
You're back to the abstract. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I think I was also supposed to mention that the conference is fully funded by CGH. Like, they really like sponsored me from like me buying my tickets, the hotel I'm gonna stay in, printing my poster, like they really like supported me to go here. So shout out to CGH again and Nico. The abstract. So of course I had done the research and I knew that I wanted to get something out of it. So I told my PI that with the data that we have, that has like a lot of like adolescents that took the drug, I want to do something like for myself from the data. And what I was looking at is the difference between those who took naltrexone, which is the drug I told you guys about, and those who took placebo. So placebo is a makeshift drug. Like it has nothing in it. It's just like a little drug, but it has nothing. So we had other participants that took placebo. So I wanted to see if some people were just making up these feelings. What I actually found out is it's the same results in both. So people who took naltrexone and placebo had the same like results, which I thought was interesting because maybe if people just think that they're getting the drug, they like tell themselves, I'm going to get better, and react the same way as people actually get the drug.
Actually,
That's
something
really interesting. Yeah.
something that I've been reading about before I came to America was about how like a lot of drugs are actually just placebo and they don't even do anything. Like for example, me out and stuff.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and they also read something about the color of the thing of the drug that you're taking. Apparently, sometimes when it's more colorful, your brain tends to tell you that it's more like strong
Effective or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is so interesting.
crazy.
That's
It
cool.
is, yeah.
So our bodies or our brains together with our body actually have the ability to stop some of these issues that we may be facing.
Definitely, yeah.
And we just have to figure out how to. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so now since you're about to graduate with your major in neuroscience, and you've finished the Epic Advantage, what are your plans after you graduate?
Yeah, so I'm currently doing a lot of applications. I have a whole Excel sheet right now, and it's been going okay. My plans after grad school is to do a master's program in epidemiology, maybe, because I still want to go into studying maternal health. And my plan is after I get that master's program, probably go into medical school again. So yeah, that's about it.
That's really nice.
So what's epidemiology?
It's the study of like disease. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just trying to say if you're also going to connect this with what you mentioned earlier about the sub-Saharan, like helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So I think I still want to really tailor my research to sub-Saharan African women. So even though I'm going to like broad epidemiology, my like main goal is to study maternal and child health. So mostly for sub-Saharan African women.
That's really nice. Do you feel like you have other things that you have been involved in throughout your time here, but we haven't really discussed about that? For example, I think you mentioned something about being part of the
Health club or something.
Yeah, but I'll go into that. But while we're still on the application story, like Earlham is super good in like, first of all, applications are super expensive. I didn't know that. Like it's almost $100 per school. But Earlham has what they call the honors program, which if you're applying to grad schools, they give you $1,000 to fund all your applications.
Really?
So all the applications I've done have been fully sponsored by Earlham College. They gave me the 1,000, and yeah, that has been really impactful in applying to all the schools that I've applied to so far.
So that's like 10 schools.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
about
really
10
nice.
schools. Yeah.
Wow. So one thing I struggle with is looking for is finding all these opportunities, because I always hear about how Earlham has like lots of opportunities. But is there, I don't know, I try to look around, I talk to some people, but I don't really find stuff. So how do you navigate
What's
that?
your secret?
That's a good. How I knew about the like honors epic program or like fund is I was just walking in LBC and Kalen's door was actually open, and I just asked him like, do you know where I can get like funding to go to grad school? And then he told me to email Nate, And I emailed him, and then that's when he was like, we have like $1,000 that we give. And most people like probably wouldn't have known that, but I think it's really just positioning yourself and asking. Yeah, so I was really fortunate.
You should expand your network, bro. Connect with people.
I think that's some very good advice.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell us about your club, yeah?
Club, yeah. So pre-health has like 3 major clubs right now. We have MEPS, which is what I'm like part of mostly, stands for Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students. And we have a general pre-health club, and we have HOSA. So because I'm the vice president for MEPS, I'm going to speak a little bit on that because that's what I know. Like I said, it's for minority students, and being international student myself, like I really try to advocate for like a lot of international students because I know it's really hard for us to get into like top medical schools and stuff. And so we really try to like tailor our information mostly for minoritized students, so people from a lot of international countries. And recently we've just finished creating a large Excel sheet of internships that are mostly for international students. So we looked through it together as a team, and then we came up with an Excel sheet that we sent out to a few of our international students so that they can apply for those internships. And coming up next week, I think we have like a summer internship workshop where we're going to be sharing our summer internship experiences and our research work as well.
So are these internships just for pre-health stuff?
Because at this point, I think I'm about to change my major to go to.
Yeah, they're mostly for pre-health or like research tailored, but yeah, we can help you guys also find some CS ones if you're interested.
That would be great. I'm sure in the pre-health, these like research labs and
They need
hospitals
some data
need some
scientists.
data
Yeah,
scientists.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So, do you have any advice for prospective students or maybe other Earlham students watching this podcast?
And for us as well.
And also
Oh
for
my
us
God.
here.
Advice.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll just say don't be afraid to try something new. Definitely ask. And advice for you guys, just keep doing your thing. I think you guys are already doing really well. So yeah, that's my advice.
All right.
Thank you very much, Tinaye, for joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
Carlton, remember to do your thing, what you're always doing. All right. So thank you guys for watching. This was another great Epic Stories podcast. Carlton, do you want to tell them where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, and soon to be some other platforms.
Soon to be iHeartRadio.
Yeah. So check us out and see what you can pick up.
Thank you.